That's a funny place for his antenna.
Вау! А что это значит, мама? Блядь, что такое кино? Планета 51? So, this movie. Some of you may not know existed, some of you may do. Let's talk about it. 2009 was a pretty banging year for animated movies. I mean, we got such classics such as Up, Princess and the Frog, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Coraline, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and this.
Hey, baby.
Now I have a really weird memory of this movie. I remember watching the Russian version of it.
Я дышу.
Я засек пришельца!
Эй, сам ты пришелец!
Нет, ты!
Нет, ты!
Что?
Чё? Ну, здрасте!
Привет!
Coming from a Slavic family, I remember I was like 3 years old when this came out, and I just remember watching on like some TV one day, and I honestly kind of liked it. I remember watching it in English and still really liking it. Well, now after finally rewatching this movie after all these years, I can finally say it's okay. Planet 51 is a 2009 animated science fiction comedy film. And in Planet 51, we follow an American astronaut, Chuck Baker, who lands on an alien planet as one of the aliens helps him return to a ship while evading their military. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this movie is like one of the worst of the decade. It's not awful by any means. It's just kinda a decent average kids movie from an independent animation studio. Alright, first, I'll start off with some positives. For one, I really like the 1950s aesthetic of this movie. Maybe because I'm a bit biased because I'm a huge sucker for 50s and 80s nostalgia because of movies like Back to the Future, you know. In the opening sequence of the movie plays Lollipop by the Chordettes, just like Mr. Sandman. And the animation does a pretty good job of bringing this world of aliens to life. The backgrounds, the action scenes, they're pretty good for 2009. So we meet our main character. He's just kinda your typical teenage protagonist who works at a planetarium. We meet his friend and the brother of the girl he likes. Then we see a spaceship land on this planet and the astronaut Chuck comes out. He gets scared seeing all the aliens and they get scared of him. And I'll admit, there were some decent funny jokes I kind of chuckled at a bit.
Open wide, or the big bad monster will get ya.
So the news goes crazy. Everyone finds out about the spaceship that landed and everyone is scared. Lem's at the planetarium and finds Chuck hiding there. And they both get scared seeing each other because, you know, he's an alien for him and he's an alien for him. Oh, and our astronaut, Chuck Baker, he's voiced by the one, the only, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's the guy who says,
Ding bong, ding dong, he's Stone Cold.
yeah, all you little kids know The Rock as Maui. Real legends remember him as Captain Charles T. Baker, the best astronaut of all time from NASA. They just talk and then Chuck says he needs to go back to his ship to get back to Earth, and that's kinda it. We then meet the villains of the film, kinda, these military corporal guys, and the scientist voiced by John Cleese. Lem and the Rock try to get into a spaceship, but it's guarded, so they just go to Lem's house and chill. His friends come over, they all interact, and there's a robot dog, and yeah. Most of this movie is just characters moving from place to place trying not to get caught. There's an emotional scene towards the end of the Lem and Rock talking, which feels a bit generic, but it's nice that they attempted some emotional moments. Then the robot dog gets captured, they do this dance sequence for some reason, and then the Rock gets captured by the evil military. So then Lem, his friends, and the girl all team up to go to the Area 51 secret base to rescue the Rock. But there's this one joke in the movie that completely stands out.
Rover here will take us right to my ship.
That's a funny place for his antenna.
That joke went way over my head as a kid. So they free the Rock, fly the spaceship up, and then back down for some reason, and then the Rock goes back home to Earth, Lem gets the girl, and that's Planet 51, the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. Ever. Honestly though, this movie could have been really good. It had a nice creative concept being a parody of sci-fi movies, but it just kinda ended up being an average kids comedy. Not awful, just okay. And honestly, I'm shocked to say this, but this might be considered a little underrated. I can see why I liked this movie as a kid. It's just got a nice wholesome tone and you can understand where they're going with the message. I'd recommend checking it out if you're a fan of sci-fi comedies, or you just want to see the movie because you're curious. So yeah, overall I'd give this movie a C+. It's a 5.5 out of 10. So yeah, Planet 51. Go check it out. Wait, there was a video game based off this movie? Why was there a video game made for every animated movie back in the 2000s? Did anyone else notice that?